one of my main issues. Uh, and I think it's kind of pointless to try to figure out where exactly it came from. All that
Mm,
matters is it's an issue now. Um, just starting, starting anything.
okay.
Once I have started and I feel a little bit of momentum, it's way easier for me to keep going and keep pushing. But just that first step or those first couple steps, I don't know why, but there's a massive roadblock that's put up. So I've taken a lot of baby steps to get things set up so that way I can start small, not overwhelm myself, even though I really want to, because back in my mind, it's always saying, you got to get caught up, man. You
Yeah.
gotta, should have gotten this started a long time ago. You gotta get caught up. You gotta spend a fuck ton of time today doing this. But doing that is just, it does more harm than good,
Is that
you
also
know?
the same thing that's like killing your momentum once you get started? Do you become dejected at like fuck I should have done this already long time ago and I'm so far behind and it like sucks out your momentum?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of my main issues is that it's tough to say because it's not like I have super low confidence. It's not like I have no confidence at all. It's just in comparison to how brutal and negative and pessimistic my self-talk is, the inner dialogue that I have, the way
Mm,
that it has been built in, and the way that it has been formatted to talk to me and analyze things that I do. Um, the confidence that I do have, it feels like it pales in comparison. It feels like it doesn't stand a chance,
mm.
which is not true, but that's how it feels. Um, so it's kind of a tough thing to get over. Uh,
What are some changes that
but
have been
I'm
like
getting
positive? Yeah, what are some changes that you've actually been able to stick to so far?
there. Well, surprisingly, one of the things that I've never really strayed away from is gym time. Um, I think it was easier to stick to that because it feels like a form of mild torture, you know?
Really?
So, uh, uh, telling yourself that, like, you're doing something positive and productive, but if you have to say it this way, you can be like, no, 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 man, you're beating the shit out of yourself for not getting further faster. God damn it, get in there. Um,
Mm,
and it works, on the days where the motivation is a little bit lower. Using something like that,
yeah.
like it'll get me in there, and then as soon as I'm in there and I'm starting to do the workouts, then I can be like, okay, that's not true, but it got you in here, so
Right. That's an interesting
might
way
as
to
well bust
frame
it.
it.
Might
Yeah.
as well bust it out.
That's an
Uh,
interesting way you frame problems to yourself and like get over the hump, like the torture, the self torture.
well,
Maybe
if I'm
there's a way
trying
you
to
could tweak that.
yeah, I'm trying to figure out ways to use it to my advantage because I'm tired of looking at. I mean, I feel like I kind of have to because I'm tired of looking at the stuff that's built into me now as nothing but a detriment.
Hmm.
That's gonna do nothing for me. It's been doing nothing for me for a very long time. Um, I mean, we all kind of laughed about it one of the last times I was on. Like, I mean, when I was like 20 or 25, I was telling myself it's too late for you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, um, so there's a lot of the negative self-talk and a lot of these things that have been built in. And while I'm working on changing those things, I also have to figure out ways that I can use the current model to my advantage.
Yes.
I think there's a term for it. I forget what it's called. You probably know. But you kind of take a look at what are some things that maybe I was looking at as a weakness or a downside, and how could I, with this thing I'm trying to achieve, how can I actually bend it to my will and make it work to my advantage?
Hmm.
It's kind of
Rechanneling
like
it. Yeah.
yeah, like with the content creation thing. Um, I know I have a lot of good ideas. Um, Again, it's just that whole getting started thing and stressing about sucking in the beginning. Nobody likes sucking, but you have to. in the
Yeah.
beginning while you're learning. Um, and I mean that's maybe another thing that hurt me more than helped me when I was younger was anything that I got into, I was good at. In middle school when I started getting into sports, uh, first year in baseball, we won the championship. Second year that we played, we didn't win the championship that time, uh, but we came close. Um, and then, I talked for the longest time about getting into acting, and I never did. Um, my when I was that young with the whole baseball and football stuff, like my parents kind of got me into it.
Uh-huh.
But I was getting a little bit older and I got into high school. I switched gears from sports and I was really just focusing on academics. And this was around the time I was like losing interest in everything.
Mm.
I was really starting to go downhill. Um, I lost nothing really interested me. I didn't feel any enjoyment or thrill from really anything. Um, and I talked for a long time about wanting to get into acting, and I never pulled the trigger. And the girl that I was dating at the time, uh, had she not done this, I would have never started getting into it. But there was a day where she said that we were going somewhere. There was this place that she wanted to try out, and I was like, okay, cool. That works. Um, and she said she wanted it to be a surprise, though. She ended up pulling into the place where the auditions were happening, and she was like, "You're going in there, and you're going to audition, and I'm not leaving here until you do."
Wow.
And so I went in there and um, I got one of the lead roles after auditioning. And it's like,
Fuck.
so a lot of the stuff that I started getting into, I was good at from the get-go, which I kind of wish that's not how it happened because now it's even more so a struggle getting into things. Uh, and I'm not, it's, I suck. It's like, I went to this was years ago. I went to like a salsa dancing lesson thing. There was this place that once a week, or no, it was multiple times a week. They were doing free courses that they were offering people.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I don't think it would be as bad now, but with where I was at back then, man, I was red in the face, sweating like a stuck pig because the nerves were just through the roof. And it's like it was just dancing, but because I suck at dancing, and you're there in front of a bunch of other people, that's like the worst thing for me is sucking in front of other people.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm learning something and I'm alone and I suck at it over and over again, that's fine. Who cares? But if you're making an ass out of yourself and you're sucking and you're looking inferior in front of other people, that's when it is an issue. And you can try saying certain things like, "Hey, man, everyone here sucks. That's why they're here. It's a dancing class, salsa class for beginners. Like everyone sucks. Look around you."
Yeah.
Um, but that doesn't help. Not when you have that type of mindset and you're like crippled by I don't know what you would call it, like performance-based social anxiety, I think might
Okay.
be a technical term for it. Um, but yeah, I don't think it would be as much of an issue now because I'm reaching a point where it's like I don't care as much now.
Mm-hmm.
There's still a little bit of it there, but I can work my way through it. Back then, though, I was dying.
But
I could
why
not
was
wait
that
to.
different? But why was that different from the audition? So something stopped you from doing the audition yourself, and this girl obviously saw the talent in you, and she took you there and basically made you do it, backed you into a corner because you couldn't bitch out in front of her, right? I'm assuming that like shame of bitching out on her was more than the audition itself, so it sprung you into going there. Like I can't do this. Okay. So it's like, what was causing you to, for example, at the audition side when you were that young still, what were those feelings that you were feeling about the auditioning? Because clearly you demonstrated to her you loved acting. You showed enough that she saw the talent. So it's like you were showing it to at least some people.
Uh, so back then, so you're asking what were the thoughts before she did the thing
Yes.
and forced me in there?
Yeah.
Oh, simple, man. That I mean, I didn't really have much confidence back then. I would still do things. Um, Maybe it's because I wasn't thinking too much about it. I think a part of it was when I had, I mean, even back then, I think there were two things that were warring against each other because I was losing interest in pretty much everything. I wasn't really I it was harder for me to, I mean, it sounds emo as fuck, but it was it
Mm.
was harder for me to feel things from anything that I was doing.
Mm.
And that's just because a lot of stuff that was going on back then. Um, and I had a spot to fill, signing up for classes, and I uh, for one of the electives, I signed up for theater class, and I was very surprised at how that group of people made me feel completely comfortable
Mm.
because doing those acting exercises, um, and the certain things that you do to practice certain things that you're emulating, pretending that you're somebody else, um, you're you're totally like it is encouraged to make a fool out of yourself. And there's no shame in it because it's this controlled environment where everybody's doing that, and that is the goal, is to make an ass out of yourself and learn from it.
Mm.
So it's this like little miniature controlled environment where there was so much positivity that was reinforced in the mistakes and in making an ass out of yourself. And you even learned how to roll with it and turn it around. And you know, people would like that even more. Out in the real world, though, it didn't feel that way. So outside of that controlled environment, I still had the stuff that was beat into my head. You're not good enough. You ain't shit. Um, oh yeah, you thought that was good? Like that's fucking nothing. You little
Mm.
fucking. Um, so there were two things going on when it was in that black box room where we were doing our thing, practicing, um, encouraging each other, making an ass out of ourselves. That was different. And that's one of the only places that I ever felt comfortable. Um,
Being
that's one of the
yourself.
only places being
Yeah.
myself and being vulnerable. That's one of the only places I ever felt that, ever. Um, and when it was outside of that, there was still that other shit
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
my mind that I couldn't quite conquer.
We have a really great gem of an insight here if you really peel it back for what it was. So you were in an environment where you were psychologically disarmed against yourself because of what you said. The room represented everything. So it's like, okay, we have two things here that we just realized. One is acting is probably a core thing that you'd like to do in life, or something that's relating to acting, maybe starting a YouTube channel where you can act in some fashion a character or a persona. That's one. Two, is it possible that you could reinforce the disarming by going back into acting classes? Because I know you live in LA, right? Around the Hollywood area, you go hiking and stuff. Is it possible to take, are there free acting classes or stuff like that available where you can try to sharpen your skills, but just to get into that room where it gets you feeling that way again with a group of people?
I've started getting into that. I finally got the stuff approved with Central Casting. Um, they don't help you get like big roles or anything. It's Central Casting is like the place you sign up for just getting all sorts of um, background work or extra work. But it's a good place to start networking
Yeah.
and getting to know people who know people. Um, the acting classes, most of what I've been able to find so far, it's all you got to pay for it.
Mm.
Maybe I'll be able to find some way to be like, hey, if I do like, I don't know, if I clean the place up every night, can I have a free acting class or
Yeah.
something? You know, um, I'll figure that out. Um, but if it's all going to cost money, I definitely have to get other areas of my life together a little bit more before I can start doing that because I've got no extra money right now.
Yeah.
Um, That being said, with the uh, tax returns, I purposely had a fair amount withheld. Um, and that thing you recommended, uh, I got it because I have a plan. I even have some scripts written for some of the shit that I want to do. It's just taking that first step. And I was like, if I drop the money on it, that's gonna be that's gonna be kind of like the version of my girlfriend pulling up and being like, "You're going in there,
Yeah,
not leaving
forcing
until you do."
yourself.
It's like, well, now there's money that's dumped into this, so you better fucking start.
What if you combine something like this? Combine that need to torture yourself for being late by saying you're going to make this video because it's torturing you and you deserve to be uncomfortable because you're a piece of shit, because you're whatever you want to say as an excuse. Also, right, but also, secondarily, give yourself a chance to really act on camera. You could lie to yourself and say, hey, it's practice for the casting shoots. Hey, it's going to be me building my persona for my YouTube channel. Whatever it is. What if you combine both of those? Because one gets you through the door, the self-hating, and the other one is the one where you really like blossom out into your real personality, which is the acting.
So I've thought about that. I think that's a good idea. Um, Looking at the stuff on social media though that can potentially be an additional source of income that could
Hmm.
then get put back into growing. Um, I don't think that's how I would want to start out. I think the
Mm.
stuff that I would want to make, at least at first, needs to be more real. Uh, and I've got a plan for that too. My big picture goal for the content creation stuff when I first started considering it years ago was actually a kind of like a travel channel type thing on YouTube. Even though there's plenty of that out there,
Right.
I was uh, I was and still am confident that um, the spin that I would put on it and what I would do with it would be uh, original.
Okay.
So it's not like it would just be more drivel people are putting out the same type of travel content. It wouldn't be like that.
Hmm.
Um, because that's another thing that I found really opened me up in a way that nothing else ever did was international solo traveling.
Ah, okay.
Uh, Unfortunately, I haven't been able to do that as much as I would like because of the whole money thing. But um,
But
when
when you
I
say
have
plan, but say plan, for example, so you say, I have a plan for getting started with that camera. What's the plan right now? If you were to lay it out, and then how long? Like when you say plan, that means we got a date to start, a date to finish the first video, and some idea of what we're shooting already. So are we that far in the planning stage, or just like a general idea of what you want?
as far as a start date, no, I would say as soon as possible because I already know what I'm going to do for the first episode. So I
Okay.
already know I just have to force myself to set the thing up and start shooting, start making an ass out of myself, deleting a whole bunch of stuff, going back, starting over, deleting that shit again until I'm happy.
Okay.
Um, so it'll probably have to be,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll
Realistically,
start playing a
how soon? How soon can you get out there and start shooting? Realistically, no bullshit with the schedule you got right now. If I were to be kind of like that girl and just pushing you out the door and say, you got to do this now, what's that day represent? Is that this coming weekend?
realistically, yeah, realistically, this upcoming weekend, Sunday and Monday, um, I'll be able to pull it out and play around with uh play around with some stuff maybe this evening and throughout this upcoming week.
Hmm.
Um, but as far as like actually filming the actual stuff to put together, it'd be this upcoming weekend.
Good. Well, we
Um,
have our start date.
I
Where's the
guess I
start date?
guess by plan I meant more like a uh
Like a such structure to it
what
that you're following?
yeah, because I know what I would do to lead up to the bigger things that I want to do. There's plenty of stuff that I know I could talk about, just like some of these guys are doing, just getting on and talking about
Hmm.
shit that's on their mind. Um, and I usually go on hikes and stuff, so I can do it while doing hikes to get over a little bit of the uh, I guess fear or self-imposed embarrassment of doing it in front of other people. Um, because that's another thing is like an overabundance of like forced shame on something where it's not needed.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if I were to pull out my phone and let's say take a selfie of myself somewhere, I feel so embarrassed doing that because I just think it looks so fucking stupid.
Well, when you see
And it
people do
kind of
it,
does.
when you see people do it, do you think they look fucking stupid? Like, is that the first thought that goes through their head?
Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit. A little bit.
How do you feel knowing that they're able to be comfortable enough to take that and some of them are getting paid to do that?
Mm.
Looks stupid.
Uh Envious for sure. But not about the money part.
Okay.
Just envious about their level of their
Comfort in their own skin, pretty much.
deficit of shame. Yeah,
Yeah.
lack of shame. That I'm very envious about. First thought that goes through my head is that looks fucking stupid. Second thought is, well, they don't care. It seems like you're the only one that cares. Why do you? Why can't you not care like them?
Where does
Why
that
can't you
take
be
you?
more comfortable? Huh?
What's it? And where does that take you when you keep going down that thread?
Uh a dead end. I've never
You didn't want to go
I
through the
get
other
to
door, huh? Deep enough?
well, it's no, I reach a point to where I can't quite figure it out. I
Mm.
reach a point where it's like, I know that's something I would like to change, but that is one thing I've never been able to get rid of. And I don't quite know why.
Hmm.
It should be simple. That's a pretty simple thing to do, especially when you're a little bit older, is to just not fucking care.
Was there a
Um,
moment? Was there a moment in childhood that was like really traumatic to you specifically, or like one of those core memories that formed where you were, I don't know, berated or shut down or shamed into something that kind of stuck with you and formed all of this?
oh, many
Many.
times. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's one specifically that you have to find where it's like the starter to the rest. The one that hurt the most, you're probably most invested, most excited, and wanting to share that one with somebody the most where you were shut down brutally. There has to be one that kind of stands out above the rest as definitely the most painful. You got one that pops into
Uh,
mind?
there's one that pops into mind right away. I wouldn't say it's the worst one, but it's the one that kind of, uh, I guess, encapsulates all the rest, even though it wasn't as bad. Um,
So you basically
yeah,
have
I can
a
think of,
Yeah, you have a confirmation bias based on childhood history where you were pruned at everything you wanted to do and shoved in a box and basically shamed and made to feel worse about yourself, less than whatever, all that encapsulated repeatedly.
yeah,
And then, but you also had this like cognitive dissonance that everything you touch turns to gold in a sense because you're highly skilled at your sports. You won state championships. You walked in and got one of the leading roles at acting, when you went to tryouts for that too. And basically everything since then that you really wanted to do, you've excelled at. Now you have something that you really want to do, say YouTube or acting, but you have the childhood reinforcement of I'm not good enough, I can't do this, I'll be shamed, I'll look stupid, I'll feel what I felt as a kid. That's essentially what's happening here. I'm afraid to feel the way I felt in those moments as a kid. In your adult life, you're now avoiding potentially feeling those things again. Because it's like, we have unresolved trauma here in the sense of like, you're not over all those moments as a child. So you're avoiding them as an adult by proxy, by not doing what you're supposed to do, not starting. For example, YouTube channel, the one that you want to start is the perfect example of you holding yourself back from the feelings you're running away from that you experienced as a kid. That's all it is. It's not that you're dumb. It's not that you're not capable. It's not that you don't know what the fuck you're doing or you're not talented enough because actually, historically speaking, when you did something, you were very good at it. And even if you weren't that good, you rapidly improved to the point where it was better than most. And that we have actual tangible historical proof of. So why would your YouTube channel not radically improve with your natural talents had you started it today? Had you start practicing today? Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't already your first video be better than a lot of the dudes that are making their videos that you know you're better than? because you speak better than them. You're better looking than them. You got more to share and you got a personality. You have acting skills. Some of these guys are just straight up like full of dirt getting off work. So you have the persona. You could create one if needed, and you can tell a story and you can speak. You're good looking, young enough. It's like, bro, how many more positives, how many more like, proofs do you need that you would succeed? Then we have the second issue. Since we're avoiding what happened as kid, we are now in our adult life punishing ourselves for, not living up to the potential. How do we combine the need to punish ourselves? Go ahead.
I'm listening. I just got to plug my laptop in real quick. I'm listening.
So it's like, how do you punish the need to punish yourself with the confirmation bias that you're not good enough to wrap it all into you succeeding in YouTube? It's like, okay, why don't you make yourself look stupid? Why don't you try to make a shitty video? Because you deserve it. You deserve to be laughed at. You deserve to look dumb. You deserve to struggle shooting this. You deserve this. But on the other end, a little part of you will enjoy shooting. And then the other part will come out where you watch the video back and you hate it. And you're going to say, this is shit. I want to quit. And it's like, no, you fucking deserve to struggle like this. You don't deserve to have a hit YouTube channel in one video. You're going to have to work for this shit. Talk to yourself that way. Really reinforce that. Fuck you. You're going to have to make 100 videos before one's good. If it takes, that's what it's going to take. That's what you deserve. You shouldn't have a hit million view video in one. That might get you through the door because all the negative emotions you're feeding off of in adulthood. But also when you start to see results actually on your YouTube channel, confirmed beyond any emotional bullshit, then you're going to say, okay, I really do have something here. That's the positive, confidence through competence is what you're going to start getting. Because it's like, oh, I'm making videos, people are watching. I'm making videos, they're good. The comments are good. The feedback is good. The analytics are good. I keep going. And then you keep a little bit of the self-hate to push you through the next video. Then do it again, fucker. Oh, you think you had one good video that finally got 100K views? Fuck you. It's dumb luck. Try it again. Something like that. Use the negativity to get you out the door, just like you do for the gym. And then
that's exactly how it would work for me. Yeah. Another thing that I discovered, all of these things that we're talking about with fears and anxieties, I had to admit it to myself quite some time ago, but I think more than shame, more than embarrassment, more than getting kicked yet again while I'm down, more than possibly being homeless again, more than anything else. I think the thing that I became most afraid of is being happy. But I actually had to correct that recently when I was digging a little bit deeper at it, because for a while after I kind of realized that I was afraid of happiness, because anytime the occasions in my life where I was starting to feel a little bit of that, some shit would happen, ground would fall out from underneath your feet, and it's back down into hell again. It's not happiness that I'm afraid of. I desperately want that. More specifically, it's hope.
This is mind blowing to me, dude. Here's what I'm imagining. You're walking up Hollywood Hills trails. You're having this conversation in the camera, being real. You don't need to fucking butter it up with a personality. Just like you are right here, just like we're talking right here. You're also panning to views, shooting B-roll on your way down or up while you're not talking, thinking of something to say. You're just getting extra footage to switch it out, as you're talking. And you're having this conversation. You get to the top, you maybe end it positively or whatever. Or I don't know. If anybody else feels like this, talk to the camera, let everybody know what they're struggling with, shit like that. There's just so much fucking immense value. Because, I record these calls, I'll put this one up and you'll see it in the comment section alone. Like, people are dealing with your issues all the time and they're desperate to relate. And they're thinking, fuck, bro, I'm dealing with the same shit on a different level for something else, whatever their dreams are. But this is where the value comes in. At least for you, you could start that right now this weekend. You can make that. That's an easy video. You could get done on the full hike. Fuck, if you're even struggling, if you're getting nervous to talk, maybe even on the car ride there, get one of those things that you could stick, on the window that holds your camera up that could just like people do when they do their car setups, get one of those suction cup things and have that hook
Yeah.
that up to hold your camera. Done. And then do some of the talking on the way there if you need, or some of the talking on the way back. Because after the hike, after everything you say on camera and you think you're done, some other shit's going to come in your mind like, fuck, I should have mentioned this. I should have said that. Just pull the camera out, put it there, stick it, whatever, and go, listen, uh, I had this thought on the way home from the car. People love the raw, brutal truth, like honesty, dude. Just be like, listen, I was actually driving home and I forget this portion is really important to me. I don't know. I guess I'll just add it to the video. Blah, blah, blah. And that'll be like the section most people tune in for some because they're just like, fuck, dude. Those are the real thoughts, the juicy ideas that really are flowing through. That's all it is. By just doing that, don't forget the artistic side where you're really trying to edit this and make it cinematic and the whole travel vlogging shit, those are harder to make. At least start with these. And then you could slowly introduce the people to what your real passion is, which is the travel stuff. Which, like, dude, just imagine the possibility that one of these videos could get hundreds of thousands of views. Your life will change. Your life potentially can change literally this weekend if you did this thing. It could. It puts a smile on your face because it really can. How many dudes have I fucking literally reviewed with like 1,000 subscribers only because he got one viral video? He had 1,000 subs, not because he's been building his channel. He's a dude in a fucking work coat talking in the camera how frustrated he is with some crazy shit going on in life, in his life. Like, are you kidding me, bro? You can't do that, but add the scenery of hiking, up Hollywood Hills, and then also relating your problems and showing people panning some beautiful shots of what it's like at the top of the hill. And shit like that. Like, oh, fuck, dude, it's there. And your camera is fucking gorgeous. It shoots 4K, 60 frames. And you got a nice mic. Everything will sound amazing and look amazing. You're already miles ahead of most people in how they're recording with their fucking cameras, with their front-facing cameras. And it looks like shit. Like, but the guy just had the balls to just hit record and make a video. Fuck it, dude. I don't know if anybody's going to watch this. Who cares? But I got to get the shit out. That's their mentality. But you got higher aspirations. You're on another level because it's not just sharing, but it's also what you're trying to do on the tail end of that. The travel, the solo travel stuff. Your dreams are so much closer than you realize, bro. You're in fucking LA. And if Jesus Christ, you're this close. You just have to understand on a deep level that the only reason you do this is from the shit that we had to go through as kids that I don't really want to fucking deal with in my life. You got to relive some of those tough moments and unwind all the feelings and understand why the other person did you that way in a form of so you understanding that you could forgive what happened and not let it affect you anymore. Because maybe you are projecting what they were doing onto you as how you really feel when it was really their internal compass, the way you do now. As in, I take a selfie of myself in public, you see me and you go, that person looks fucking retarded. This is so stupid. You look so dumb. You're a fool. How could you embarrass yourself this way? But that internal voice is literally what you experienced as a kid that person placed onto you, maybe when you were shining and doing well, but that was their insecurity. You literally downloaded their insecurity into you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, you got potential.
And I know,
I'm telling you.
I know where their shit came from too.
Oh, even better. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yep.
There is one time though where I thought they looked like an idiot and I was right. There was this small group walking down the street and this chick was just holding her phone up like this, recording something. She was not looking ahead of her and she went face first into one of those metal light poles. And you just heard the dong sound like echo through the street. And she just stopped for a second, like rattled, and then she just kept going, recording.
That's a beautiful example.
It's like, oh man.
But that's a beautiful example. Look at that. That could have been a viral video for somebody where they were recording something, smashed their face and kept recording. Just laughed it off, bro. Look, you should envy that level of resilience. That's not something to confirm in your head. Yeah, there you go. So it's like, dude, there are people here that are walking into signposts and shit and just letting it roll off their shoulders. Why can't you? It's like, oh, I know why. Because of what happened to me as a kid. What happened to me as a kid? Those exact moments, because that other person was insecure and they were just vomiting their insecurity onto me. And it made me feel the way they feel inside. None of this shit is real to me. It doesn't apply to me. Everything I've ever touched, I've been good at mostly. And when I do suck at something, I improve fast enough that I'm better than most people. It's like we got all the tools we need. It's just letting it out onto the world. Like dude, you invested in the camera already. You have the camera. That shit wasn't cheap. You're ready to rock. So you already got like, you got an anchor in of like, fuck, I just spent all this money. There's no going back now. There really isn't. And why would you? To go back to what? More ideas, more planning, more strategizing. We already got the camera. We got the location. We're doing what we already do. We hike. And we want to share the fucking hardships that we're going through and probably offer people some form of either connection or solutions or how you're dealing with your shit that may help somebody else. How much value is in the fact that, dude, you may get a comment one day of a guy telling you like, bro, this video really, resonated with me. I think you have no idea how much you just fucking saved me. You have no idea how hard my life is right now. And I just needed to hear somebody else going through something similar. The way they think about themselves, the way they believe. You have, bro, that shit. I read emails that are absolutely raw and I'm like, fuck, I can't believe people are relating on this level, and it's saving lives sometimes. Because guys will say, I was on the brink, dude. I started listening. I just took some advice. I started walking. Then I started eating cleaner. I thought everything was over. My wife left me this. I started looking at myself differently on some of my motivational videos where I get fired up. And all of a sudden they're like, dude, 6 months later, I just stuck in and my life couldn't be any more different. Like I look at everything so differently. I just want to thank you for that. And they literally write me like a fucking thank you letter of how their life changed. You can do that for people. Your negative experiences could be a boon for others that are dealing with the same shit that you're currently dealing with. You could save lives, bro. You really fucking could. It sounds stupid. Oh, I make a video on YouTube. Are you fuck? Yeah, but how many videos on YouTube did you watch that touched you emotionally and you were like, oh shit, damn.
Plenty.
There you go.
Couple of them are ones that you made.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason why I'm here.
There you go. We have no idea what kind of doors are opening and the lives we're touching and how it affects people. But we know we're relatable. That's it. And this is what it is. We're longing for connection, dude. And we have a really weird era in time where we live where a little camera can connect you to millions of people. It's right there. We're doing it right now, but you could do it on your YouTube channel right now. And you can make it happen. Listen, I did that one video where, I don't know, the guy was talking in his car where he's like 45 and broke or whatever. He's trying to feed his family. And I got like thousands of videos submitted. I can't even get through all of them. But it's just dudes starting channels, just like, relating. And I have to like, somehow I have to watch all these because obviously I got 0 views. So I don't know if they're even good. And I got thousands to go through, but it's like thousands of people are trying and thousands of people. One of those, I guarantee like at least a few of those are going to go viral. He's going to get thousands of views and his life will change just because he put up a video and he could talk and he could be relatable and he had, something to say. And it's like, dude, everybody, I'm telling you, you could relate. For example, today on your channel, you could relate the shit you're going through internally, the insecurities. You could relate dating problems you're having in LA or in California, or crazy stories of liberal women you may have dated, or stories that happened to your friends. It doesn't even have to be you. You could share a crazy story of a friend. I got friends that have been in knife fights with girls in the kitchen and shit. Like a chick tried to stab him. She was so fucking nuts. I could relate crazy stories like that. And there's lots of experience that you've been through life or by proxy other people that you know, and you could relate those stories, dude. And you could be captivating on camera. It doesn't always have to be the doom and gloom either. You don't have to get stuck in like, fuck, I'm sharing too much. I'm not comfortable. You don't have to. Just share an easy surface level story first if you need, and then go deeper in. All right. So like last time I was on video with you guys. I just shared a dating nightmare story. But today, I actually want to talk about something that's really been bothering me. For the longest time, I've had issues with this, since I was a kid and blah, 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 blah. And you just go in it, bro. And people are fucking listening. And it's that simple for that kind of video. At least get your beak wet doing that. Then we could plan out the more, audacious shit of you editing shit and making it all pretty with like visuals and cinematic stuff and traveling and, all the crazy ideas you have in your head that you can make happen.